The Black Yogi tribe. Peace of mind comes piece by piece. What's up, Black Yogi Tribe? Welcome back to another podcast. I am joined today by someone special, and um, it's such a beautiful opportunity to be able to connect with Zack. I'll let him introduce himself in a moment, but we met on accidents. Okay. So uh everyone kind of thought it was planned, but we did not know each other at all. And this is shout out to my grandma because she really encouraged me to reach out to Zack and to continue to really hear his message and get his perspectives. Number one, as a black man, and number two, as a black man in the mental health field. So I really want to say thank you to Josephine Stokes, who is my grandmother, that really encouraged
Woo!
this encouraged this space. So yes, Zack, let the people know who you are.
All right. So the reason why I didn't even put any label down there is because I was like, I don't know what exactly to say. I know I'm a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
a licensed master social worker at that. I graduated uh, last, last year, 2021. No,
Okay.
2022. Stuff time escapes me nowadays. I just be moving. But yeah, I'm also a mentor and a life coach.
Hmm.
Do a lot of things in Birmingham. I work with, well, I'm not gonna say I work with, but I collaborate with certain programs in schools
Mm-hmm.
to provide services for the students, whether it be like SEL, social and emotional learning, for
Hmm.
those that may not know, and just helping to connect them to services that they may need. But yeah, I'm all over the place. Um, but I guess on a more personal note, from Mobile, 251. Gotta
Hey.
always rep the city, 251,
Hey.
always in here, you know what I'm saying? Uh but yeah, I I'm just the ultimate in betweener. I don't know. That's about all I
Hmm.
got for me.
Okay. Okay. Ultimate in betweener. So, ultimate in betweener. If you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say?
Slow down. Like, stop. A lot of things that people are getting into just comes as a result of them not understanding each other or not wanting to understand each other.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's so many misconceptions in the world, even when we think about like wars, for example, right?
Hmm.
A lot of times it's based on a disagreement between people who, are supposed to be making decisions for everyone else.
Hmm.
If everyone else isn't making a decision, then why do y'all feel the need to constantly butt heads?
Hmm.
Just I want people to slow down and really like understand and evaluate why they're doing the things that they're doing. If it's not bringing you happiness, if it's not bringing you peace, if it doesn't bring you, you know, anything of value, then why are you doing it?
Hmm.
I think people get too stuck in just being comfortable, and they allow that to determine what they'll do for the rest of their lives. And it's okay to be uncomfortable
Hmm.
and grow from that space. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
probably won't even need 5 minutes for that.
Hey, just summed it up real quick. Yeah, I love how you mentioned growth in the discomfort. That connects a lot to what we say in the practice of yoga. Lean into the spaces of discomfort, right? A lot of the
Hmm.
times when you don't want to sit down and meditate, you don't want to sit with that stillness. That's where you really truly grow in that
Right.
stillness. Yes.
Right. It takes some peace and quiet to be able to, process and evaluate things. Like people who are always around a constant state of noise and just being on the go, your mind is always racing. You never really have the time to dial down and
Hmm.
evaluate what you're doing.
Hmm.
Um, and I think self-reflection is one of the most vital things we have as human beings. Like if you aren't taking the time to self-reflect or reflect on whatever is going on, then
Mhm.
you never fully get to form an opinion. So you
Mhm.
kind of are either going off of someone else's opinion, or you're just doing things kind of mindlessly, and
Hmm.
that's not something I think we can afford to do if we have the option not to.
Hmm. Absolutely. Being numb, being like that awareness, that level of awareness just being missing. Yeah. I
Right.
love that. I love that. When you say, I just want to expound a little bit on that. When you say reflection, self reflection, does that look like journaling as well? Would that be a way to self reflect? Okay.
Absolutely. Like, so, and even in journaling, like through any value of self-reflection, you can always I guess find a way to misconstrue your own thoughts, or you know I guess confuse yourself or your own
Hmm.
perception.
Hmm.
But that's why it's important to, I guess, know how to self-reflect. So know the
Hmm.
types of things that you should be looking for, know the type of things that you should be trying to communicate to yourself.
Hmm.
That's why
Hmm.
you have to do research. And I'm not talking about just, looking through online blogs or
Hmm.
finding some tweets on Twitter that say,
Yeah.
this is what you're supposed to be doing, yada yada yada. Like, no, talk to some people. Like I gained
Hmm.
a lot of my wisdom from talking to other people older and younger than me. So
Hmm.
you just need those interactions to kind of help you find your own guide.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And what I really love most about journaling is that for me it's a space to speak to all parts of myself, like my past
Hmm.
self, my present self, and my future self, right, depending on what
Right.
I'm writing. So I love that form of communication. I was just checking in to see, like, is that some of the lines of work that you include as well?
Oh, I absolutely tell people to journal.
Okay.
For most of my clients, we might meet this day, and I'm like, all right, you got homework over the next week. I want you to go write about this and that. You don't necessarily have to divulge all your emotional, being into this journaling, because some people aren't there yet.
Hmm.
But I just want you to at least write down interactions or certain things that you've encountered during the week, so that we can at least come back and talk about those, so that you make it
Hmm.
to a point where you can, reflect a little bit deeper into them.
Hmm. Love that, love that, love that. Thank you, Zach. So breaking it up
Thank
a
you
little
for
bit.
having me. I ain't even say that first. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you shouted out the most important person who was my grandma. So big ups, you know what I mean? So,
For sure.
um, I like to ask folks this just to kind of get a understanding. Some people, like for me, my parents were military, but I am not in the military.
I wouldn't have even guessed that. Like, I didn't have any type of preconceived notion. Like, I think that's something that I kind of trained myself to kind of get out of the habit of.
Hmm.
But yeah, like yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought anything, but especially not that one.
Yeah, well, it shows up like the preparedness, like I'm there 45 minutes early, you know what I'm saying? It shows up in like the discipline, like for us to be building the first black owned yoga studio in Birmingham, Alabama. That's some militant stuff right
Yeah,
there.
you're gonna have to go through some hoops and some hurdles, a lot of them. And I know with
Yes.
you're not headstrong going into that direction. It's gonna be hard to, you know, bring it to fruition. But I know you will.
Hey, hey,
I know
thank
you
you.
will.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So for you, what did your parents do for a living?
So I guess I should start with my mom, because I
Okay.
was, raised in a single parent household. My dad was still involved, just
Hmm.
from a distance.
Okay.
So my mom was a pharmacy technician, well, a
Hmm.
certified pharmacy technician. Let me,
Hmm.
make sure I put that respect on her name. She's retired now because
Okay.
my parents had me, um, at an older age. My mom was 38, so my dad had to be 42.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think I was planning to be here, but here we are, right?
Wow.
But yes, my mom was a certified pharmacy technician. My dad, you know, used to work on the railroad until I think that situation just kind of played out, and he
Mhm.
chose not to go back. So he was like I guess like your neighborhood handyman for a while. Like
Hmm.
he can work on anything really. He can
Hmm.
work on cars, lay concrete, paint your walls, garden,
Hmm.
do everything really. A renaissance
Wow.
man in that regard. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Very much so. Very much so.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome thing to know. And then I love how you put it in perspective. Like, you know, even being in a single parent home, it doesn't mean that, like, just because it's a single parent home, like, the parent can still be there, but from a distance. So I love how
Right.
you brought that in. It was the overall feeling and the sensation that came to me when I heard you say that. It was very, very beautiful, very
Right.
compassionate, very, loving. So I love that. Thank you.
Of
Um,
course.
thank you for that. Um, all right, getting into the tea, the real tea of why we're all here, right? So, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health to me is, how could I put it? Because I could say like it's a generic answer. It means a lot to me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But mental health to me is ability.
Mm,
I guess it's like having the ability to think clearly, having the ability to have awareness. Like this is something that a lot of people I feel take for granted some days,
mm,
or that they're just not aware of.
mm,
Um, I think in working in some of the spaces I worked in, because I once worked at a facility for kids with severe behavioral disorders,
mm-hmm.
and also children and adults who are on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
So with being around them and kind of seeing how they operate is
Mm-hmm.
like, not to really compare, but it's also just, I guess, appreciative of, thank God I can really process this and express myself in the way that I want to. Like I don't have
Mm,
to try to convey my thoughts to someone else other than by trying to speak.
mm-hmm.
No method is perfect, of course, but I at least have the ability to talk.
Mm,
I have the
mm,
ability to have rational thoughts. Like my thoughts won't, I have control of my thoughts, not my thoughts have control over me, so to speak.
mm,
And
mm,
that's what I want most people to strive for, because most people on a day-to-day basis, eventually your thoughts will get the best of you. Like that's only natural, right? But mental health and like having, I guess, a healthy range of mental health means that you can overcome your thoughts, so to speak.
mm, mm, mm. Love that. Could we equate emotional intelligence in there somewhere?
Hmm.
Or okay,
I wouldn't say equate, because equate would
okay,
mean that it like equals out. So I think it's like emotional intelligence and there's like logic. Like you have to
okay,
have both of them together,
okay.
and that's what mental health is. Like you're able to have a rational way of thinking, even if
Mm-hmm.
it may be irrational to me, it makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like time and time again, you'll prove that it does make sense to some degree,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So having that ability to have that rational thought, and then having the ability to understand your emotions, as well as understand how to have them reflect in your behavior.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. 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 Thank you for that. Because when I think of mental health, and this is just me, a person who is not in the profession, right?
I don't want to hear that, because you still around it. Like we all have a mind, so your mind, you might say it in a better way than I do. So let's hear it.
Okay. Okay. So when I think of mental health, it's like I think of it from an emotional feeling perspective, because it's like most of the times for me when my mental health is not like balanced, it's based off like the feelings, what I'm feeling like. And so
Hmm.
once I learn to better convey and communicate, and have an emotional intelligence, I guess, is when my mental health really like kicked off and was really, something that was I was able to be a part of instead of just witnessing or being, outside of. So that's
Hmm.
um kind of where I'm coming from when I talk about emotional intelligence. Yeah.
No, that's solid, and I think I think we're saying the same thing. It's just comes across
Mm-hmm.
differently. But I think I like the way you put it a little bit better because it leads me to this thought. So, in order to explain your emotional intelligence or enable to convey your emotions, you need to have the logic behind it to be able to do it. So, if you
Hmm.
don't have the language, don't have the vocabulary, don't have the
Yes,
experiences that you would receive from, logic, you won't be able to convey the emotions. So,
absolutely.
they go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Love that. That even like brings us into the next, space. Like, what
Hmm.
was your perspective on mental health growing up versus now? Was there even a perspective? Because if we can, I'm gonna try to edit this clip, but I want to put in that space on the news where you let folks know that like mental health in the black household was taboo. And like you really said that and
Hmm.
I felt that, strongly. So what was your perspectives growing up?
At first, I joke, but joke contains truth to them. I definitely said more than that, but that's the part that they, snipped out for the news interview. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Because it was they hit me with the, it's Black History Month and all this type of stuff. I said stuff about, black people being enslaved and white people being the reason that we can't necessarily focus on our mental health, but they snipped that part out of that. They
Oh
can't let me
yeah.
they can't let me get on there saying all that. But I'm still say I said it. It's all good though. Um. Anyway, uh. So my perspective.
Yes.
So yeah, it definitely was taboo. Um. I think as it pertains to mental health, if we're having a discussion about mental health, the word that automatically pops up in most people's mind is wrong. Like, what's wrong with your
Mhm.
mental health, or
Mhm.
what's wrong with me? It
Mhm.
never can just be like I feel good about this, or this made me feel this way. It's you're thinking wrong, you're doing something wrong.
Hmm.
And I guess that kind of stems from the taboo aspect of it. If we're talking about mental health, there's something wrong. It can't just
Mhm.
be a check in, it can't just be a base to say things are good. Um,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
now I think I encourage people to not look at it as if it's only when something is wrong. Look at it as if you go to the doctor. I know some people go to the doctor and they want to hear good news. Like they just, hey, let
Yes.
me know if let me like I tweaked my ankle the other day. Let me know if it's okay. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
fine, and you be happy when you get that news
Yes.
because like you just like all right, bet I'm thinking okay, or I'm
Hmm.
walking okay, cool. But
Hmm.
I think when people think about mental health, it's just the opposite. I don't know why I'm thinking like this. I can't. You're
Hmm.
thinking like that because you're human.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
okay. Like it's a part of the process. If we gonna be here for a minute, you're gonna have thoughts like this from time to time.
Hmm.
Some of them
Hmm.
may be exclusive to you and your experiences, but I can guarantee you there's someone else that can relate to you or that can help you to understand why you're thinking that way. So,
Hmm.
it's a collective thought, I would say.
Hmm. Love that. Listen, love that because okay, this is a trigger
Gassing
warning.
me up. You gassing me up. I'm tough. I'm tough.
Oh my gosh. And here I thought because look again, look, the news, the way they put your personality there, it was like very just, I was like, I hope he laughs. Like I hope he's, I hope he's human on the podcast. And I'm so glad.
I'm
Yes.
I'm an introvert, but I'm definitely a how could I say it? I'm not a people person, but because I'm not a people person, I'm a people person.
Yes.
Because people are attracted to
Yes.
people who I guess aren't always trying to be around people,
Mhm.
maybe.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a balance,
Right.
But when you said that, I just want to give off disclaimer real quick. When you said if you live long enough, you will have certain thoughts from time to time, right? And
Hmm.
immediately what came to me, right? I'm not, you said exclusive to some people's experience, right? I do want to say that as well. But suicide, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes not necessarily like you might not necessarily think the whole plan through, but it's just like, oh, if I wasn't here anymore, you know? And
Hmm.
so that's immediately what came to me when you said that,
Mhm.
so I really appreciate. That's why I was like, wow, whoa, no, that was a lot of people don't even have access to this, but my
Right.
perspectives when I was younger versus now, you crazy if you go to the crazy house, if you go talk to
Right.
somebody, you crazy. And then two, you don't want to tell nobody your business because then they gonna know about it. And it's like, okay, so hold it inside and then what? Yes,
Fall apart. You get
yes.
balled up, or you just everything just fall apart. It's one or the other.
Yes, yes. So, and then my perspective versus now is seek help, talk as many times as you can to you know what I'm saying, people that can support and that can hold, that
Now that's the
space.
important part. The people who
Mhm.
can support and
Yes,
people who really can help. Like you
yes,
can't seek help from people who not really there to help. You always
absolutely
have to
not.
find wise counsel. But
Mm,
yeah, even still trigger warning, I guess. But even when we talk about suicide and all that type of stuff, people have regular thoughts about, I wonder how this would be if I wasn't here, or something like that. And it's, to some degree, I think it needs to be normalized just so people don't feel alone. But at the same time, I don't want to discredit any of their individual experiences. But
mm.
even for me being a therapist, like I could see something about the war going on or something, and I'd be like, all right, now if they finna come over here and go ahead and do it, just you know, I know that the government still expect their loan money back. So if you're gonna do something, go ahead and don't let me have no kid, and then something happen. Now I'm gonna be pissed. Like, come on, son. You had all this time, but I guess I'm a bit. I get a little bit comical when it gets to morbidity, but I'm not. I'm not saying that to discredit anyone else, of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
Just to reiterate that, but I want them to feel like it's okay to have thoughts like that from time to time. It's more so about how long you stay there, and um, I guess how pervasive it is in your day to day life.
Mhm. And for those folks who don't know what pervasive means, go ahead and break that down, you know.
Yeah. So just how often that persists in your day to day life. Like if you went somewhere and you was trying to order some food and they said they ain't got it, you'd be like, man, see, that's why I'd be ready to go. Like I can't even get this. Like, nah. It's
Okay.
if it's every if every fiber of your being, every second of your day is a
Mm,
moment of like catastrophe or something, please seek help immediately. I think the number is 988, even if you need to call the suicide prevention line. So
mm,
yeah, just
mm,
seek out some comfort and seek out some people, because we want you here, but of course it is your decision. But we
mm.
do want you here.
Love that. Love that. So, growing up as youth, did you have conversations about it?
I did, and it was more so from the perspective. So backstory: my oldest aunt, she was diagnosed with having schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. I'm not sure if it was bipolar 1 or bipolar 2,
Okay.
but I know that was in her diagnosis, right? So I've seen my family interact with her throughout the years and pretty much react rather than respond to it.
Mhm.
And it's oftentimes led me to asking questions or trying to understand more
Mm,
about what it means. So
mm,
in most black households, the term when somebody may have a mental disorder is they're mental.
mhm,
I'm like, as I grew up, I was like, that don't make sense. Like I don't understand. So I understand what they're trying to say. Like you're trying to say they have a mental disorder, but to just say they're
mhm,
mental, it just means about the mind.
mhm, mhm,
It's an adjective. It's not a this. It's not telling me anything.
mhm, mhm,
So um even now, I think my conversations have kind of went back to my mom. She's one of my biggest advocates, of course, but I'll come to her and say, you can't just say that a person is mental, because it's not saying anything. You have to add something else to it.
hmm.
Um, so yeah, everything that I knew growing up was more so just like a kind of dismissive way. It's mental, it's crazy, whoop de whoop, and you leave it there. But as I
Okay.
got older, I picked it up and I was really trying to understand things.
Okay, okay. Love that. And that like brings us to the next one. Why is it important to you personally?
It's important to me because I think of my aunt, like again, with
Mm.
seeing several family members, interact with her in ways I
Mhm.
think could have been done better.
Mhm.
And seeing them, I guess, not even realize that they're going through something because they think that she's the pinnacle of what being mentally ill or having a mental disorder looks like.
Hmm.
Like, no,
Hmm.
we probably are all dealing with something, and I want people to become more, I guess, susceptible to understanding that. I want us to lean more into understanding that it's nothing necessarily wrong. Even, and I know sometimes people might think that this is coming from love, but when my aunt is in one of her episodes and she talking her talk, because she can get a little wild, but at the same time, be
Mhm.
like, what if she's the same one out of everybody else and we are, kind of at the, because maybe this is what it's supposed to, maybe life is supposed to make you like this sometimes, or maybe X, Y, and Z is supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Maybe she make the most
Hmm.
sense here and we don't. At least with her, I know exactly what I'm getting every time.
Hey.
I know I shouldn't expect anything. So I know now that that's the standard. With everyone
Hmm.
else, it could be something here or there, different day. It varies, right?
Hmm.
So to me, mental health is important, I guess, because I like the challenge of understanding the mind, but it
Hmm.
also is a way to draw people closer together.
Hmm. Hmm. Well said. Well put. Um, yeah, we project a lot. You know, everyone's got something that they're projecting. If you have nasty, you're going to project nasty. If you have flowers, you're going to project flowers, whatever it is. And I like the way
Mhm.
that you said that to put yourself in another perspective, to like view it another way. And a lot of the times we don't. There's a saying in the Bible. I'm just gonna go ahead and reference it, right? You pull the plank out of your own eye,
Mhm.
before you judge someone else. And so a lot of the time we don't take that time just to really evaluate ourselves. It's just always, it's them, it's that.
Yeah, I can't. I I tried, like I think I mentioned it earlier. I tried not to have like a preconceived notion. Right,
Yes.
I got that from, it was a Wale bar that kind of stuck to me.
Hey.
I think it was in Friendship Heights with Chance the Rapper from the Festivus mixtape. I'm a music connoisseur to a certain degree,
I.
but you know what I'm saying. But um, he had a bar that was like, "Of course, we meet our intentions before we meet the person."
Mm.
Most of the times before we even know what a person is about, we already have this thought of, they're gonna do this to me, they're gonna be this. She
Mhm.
looks attractive, he looks attractive, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or they look roguish, they look thuggish, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
already kind of determine how we're gonna respond to them.
Mm.
And in some cases, it's necessary for survival tactics. Because I'm not gonna lie,
Mhm.
we didn't grow up in some kind of dangerous cities in
Absolutely.
Alabama, but it also helps to be able to drop that guard whenever you actually do meet the person, at
Hmm.
least for a second.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. To give them an opportunity. In yoga, we call those samskaras, right? It's like a cycle that you're allowing
You're gonna
yourself
have to
to.
spell that. Y'all got some words.
It's the cycles. It's basically the cycle. It's basically you're allowing one instance, right? So say if I have a little purple person that stole my purse, and now every purple person that I see, I believe that they're going to steal my
My
purse,
first. Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's a samskara. It's a cycle, and it allows you to be stuck there. It doesn't allow you to be in the present because you're still activated from that past experience. So
People be in some scars. Say it one more time.
samskara, yeah, you said it right,
Some-
yeah.
I think I said some scarus, or some scaris.
Samskara, SAM, some SKARA, samskara, S. Yes, samskaras.
Mascara. Okay, it's a
Yes,
A, but no H. Okay, mascara.
yes.
But I think some people end up in the state of samskara, or is it a noun? How is it used?
It's used, so there's different ones. There's like a whole state. So you would say a samskara. Yes, listen, it's deep.
Man, my head hurt, but no. I guess people just end up in a different cycle of some scars just
Mhm.
because they had this one interaction with this person, and now all people who are like this are the same thing, and that's just extremely unfair,
Mhm.
right? Like it's hard to
Mhm.
live life with having a preconceived notion every day
Mhm.
about everybody you meet. You're gonna meet a
Mhm.
lot of people.
Mhm.
Everybody the same. All right.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know if I go to the like in Mobile, we had this restaurant chain called Food Sackley's. I know if I
Mm.
go to the food that's on University, it's gonna take a longer time for me to get my food. But it might load me up with extra queso on my fries. If I go to the food in Sims, I know for a fact it's finna be ready as soon as I get there, and I'm gonna be out of there. But it might be a
Mm.
little skimpy on how many chicken tenders I get. Or, matter of fact, not even skimpy. They just gonna be kind of small, and I'm gonna be like, all right, now y'all could have threw in an extra one.
You know.
It's all right.
Yes, yes, no, that's real. That's real. So I want to ask you to from a specialist, from a therapist, from you, what habits do you have to take care of your mental health? Could you share some with us, with the people?
Absolutely. So I'm definitely one of those people that play video games to,
Okay.
unwind after a
Mhm.
day. It doesn't matter the type. I could go Call of Duty, I could go 2K, a lot of 2K actually.
Okay.
But God of War, Hogwarts Legacy, all that type of stuff. I play video games. I'll sit down and watch a good show like anime
Okay.
or um, anything really. I was just into this show called Couples Therapy on Showtime and all
Hmm.
that, and I just binge a show, binge a movie series, whatever. Just whatever
Okay.
brings me joy and peace in the moment. I'll do that. Um, I'm known to, just pop out and do some push ups every now and then or do some type of
Mm.
exercise if I, really feel it. Um, Listen to music. But I think my biggest ones are the ability to unplug
Mhm.
and go to sleep or go to sleep. I
Mm.
think a lot of times
Mm.
people don't give their body the time that it needs to really recover or recuperate for something.
Mhm.
So when
Mhm.
you actually lay down for those 8 hours, it helps you to be in a better state mentally.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the ability to unplug. Can I curse?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. I say fuck it in a heartbeat. You could like as soon as I feel like it's some. I don't like how this shit going. Fuck out of here. I ain't finna.
Yes, 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 yes. I
I
call that
remember.
time traveling. You know what I mean?
Nah, come hit me.
Okay, so for me, if I like you said, that fucking mentality, um, if I'm in a space where I just can't handle, I just can't, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'm just gonna time travel because when I wake up, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be better, you know.
Yeah, I remember being in. I've taken exams even for my licensure exam. I A story about how I got my license is kind of I think it's untraditional, it's unconventional. So for one, black people have like a high fail rate whenever they take the exams that I took.
Mm,
Like, and it's
mm,
disproportionately large. Like the NASW just spoke out against the exam because it's like it's no way that y'all think this is fair because black people keep
mm,
failing at this rate. At one point, I
mm.
saw a statistic that said 52% of black people pass, whereas 82% of white people pass.
Dang.
And I think it got even worse because in that statistic, it wasn't taking into account how many times the black people took it.
Mm,
So
okay,
I took the exam on the first attempt that I had, and I passed on my first attempt.
let's go.
I studied for it for one day because I made up, yeah, and it has 170 questions on it. You gotta sit in there for 4 hours max. Yeah, so I think it really just comes from the ability to look outside of myself and to see how other people might think. And that's why I
Mm,
was able to figure it out and I found out the little strategies. But regardless,
mm.
I made a goal for myself that I wanted to have my license before November hit. So I went and looked at the dates in
Why
like
November?
October. I just wanted to go ahead and get it done. So I think if you fail it, you have like 3 months that you have to wait before you can take it again. So
Okay.
I didn't really want to roll into the next year. Plus, I was trying to get myself more established career wise.
Okay.
So I was like, I need to have this so I can start planning out my next year.
Okay. Okay. I was
Um,
trying to recruit another Scorpio. I was like, why November?
no,
Okay,
I'm
yes.
a I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah, I know it's a lot of baggage on Virgos and all that. I don't know if I, buy into it, but whatever. I don't know. When it
Beyonce's
comes
a
to
Virgo.
horoscopes, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Lil Wayne,
Hi.
there's some excellence in there now. Like, man. But um, yeah, I try not to feed too much into that, but I will for
Yeah.
the sake of a joke at least.
Yeah.
Maybe it has some, properties that people should pay attention to. Maybe not. I don't know. But um, yeah, so I went to sign up. I think it was October 23rd because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna take it on Halloween, the 31st, because that would have been like the
Mm.
following Monday. I went and looked at the dates. It wasn't no dates for Halloween. I was like, all right. So I see the 24th and the 25th. That's tomorrow and Tuesday. Let me go look at November. Well, no dates for November.
Mm.
God damn, I can't even. Okay. What about December? First week of
Mm.
December, like December 7th. I was like, I can have my license by then, though. So let me just go ahead and go take it. I
Hmm.
also had a pending job offer that was waiting on me to get my license in Maryland. So
Mm.
I would first have to get it here, and then I would have to get it reciprocated there. But
Okay.
yeah, I was just like, all right, so fuck it. I'm gonna take a day, and I'm gonna go in there and take the exam, and I'm gonna see what I get. I'm sitting in the exam room. I marked like 40 something questions. Like, you need to go double check them because I ain't sure. And I was looking at the screen. Yeah, I had a whole hour left. I was like, man, you done already took the test. If you don't know it by now,
Hmm.
that shit ain't finna come into your mind. You might
You
mess around
know?
and fail the test for yourself. And I was like, damn,
Hmm.
okay, well, I'm just gonna walk out this bit. So
Hmm.
I submitted it. And I think they normally like have something pop up on the screen to tell you if you passed or not. It ain't pop up with nothing. I was like, God damn, where the hell my Where my results at? So I knew that they was gonna give me a printout when I went to the front desk or whatever.
Okay, okay.
They gave me a printout, and I was like, I'm gonna look at it when I get to the lobby, just in case I'm disappointed. So I didn't walk that, went to the lobby. That bitch said pass. I started cursing up in that motherfucker. God, who the fuck? Who do you think you are? I am. Type shit.
Hey!
Yeah, like
Yes.
even in moments of pressure, sometimes I realize, like, look, I've done all that I can do. Fuck it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Keep pushing.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. That's dope. That's dope. That statistic is dope. The fact that you didn't allow that. So I didn't pass a exam, but
Mm-hmm.
the Yoga Alliance, right? So we're the very first 200-hour registered accredited yoga school with the Yoga Alliance. And
Okay.
so when I called in,
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
When I called in, I'm like, okay, so what are some of the things? Here goes the lady. Oh, no one ever passes on the first time. No one ever gets accepted on the first time. There's usually things to work through.
Bitch,
So
fuck you.
you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Don't throw that negativity at me. I might be the one to break it. I didn't took many a class. I used to be a computer science major, and
Okay.
then I switched to electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who been in the engineering classes, they know that shit tough. And I was
Hmm.
working damn near full time while doing it. I used to
Hmm.
go to class some days just to fail. I ain't even gonna bullshit you. Like, I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and get this bitch over with now. Shit, I know I gotta take the exams and shit. It is what it is. I know
You
this bitch ain't finna
see?
make.
Uh,
I told my professor one day, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, Chief. I'm probably gonna fail this bit. And he was like, still try your best. Shit. I'll see your ass next year.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back
I
for
was actually
real.
wrong though, because I changed my major right after that. Fast food hit my line and said,
Uh,
you got 1 year to get out, nigga. And I said, okay, I'm
okay.
gonna change it.
You see what I'm saying? And even that, sometimes that can just like spook you. So I use that momentum like as fuel. I was like, well, matter of fact, we're gonna pass. We're gonna pass the first time, period. And I had a goal too. I was like, before Melanin Mala. So this was last year before Melanin Mala.
Mhm.
I was like, I want to be able to announce it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That we did it. And lo and behold, that lady hit me up. She was like, this was so thorough. It was so nice. I really enjoyed reading. She was like, this is why I work here. This is why I do this. She was like, thank you so much for your
That ain't what you
yes.
said though.
No, no, no. That wasn't her. So that was like an operator lady that
Oh, okay,
answered the
that was
phone.
someone else. Okay, cool.
Somebody totally. And I told on her too. When I spoke to the lady, I said, I just want to let you know that, some folks that I spoke to through the front agency, they just weren't very kind to me. So,
Extremely negative. Extremely negative. Try to disrupt my flow. I know who I am.
you know what I'm saying? I know where I'm at. So we arrived, we
Oh
made it.
wait,
So I'm
Siri
glad that
popped
you
up
made
on me.
it. Oh,
Okay, I can hear you now. Siri had popped
oh,
up on me.
oh, hey
I don't know what
Siri.
I don't know what she heard.
Uh-huh.
My southern drawl. See, actually, you said her name though. I didn't. I don't know what they heard.
They coming for you. No, listen. Okay. So what
They
is
gonna come. Just know that the debt ain't getting paid. I'm telling you.
I ain't got it. um in your life,
Hmm.
what is one of the biggest challenges you've overcome in your mental health?
It's the same challenge every time.
Okay.
It's just me.
It's just you versus you.
Whether it's my intentionality, whatever the case may be,
Okay.
it's always me.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I think a lot of times people have a tendency to view their trauma as the reason as to why they can't do something.
Mhm.
Your trauma is the reason for your current state. It's not the
Mm.
reason for your future state. Your future state
Hmm.
depends on what you decide to do now that you've realized that. So
Hmm.
any obstacle that I've had to, face or challenge that I've had to face, it came as a result of what I was willing to do to get over it. The intentionality of everything.
Hmm. 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 Yes, we say in yoga, we say on the other side of trauma is choice.
Hmm.
And so you can choose, like you said, you can choose to stay there or you can choose to not. And so I love that. You versus you. It's always you versus you. It's always us versus us. Um,
Hmm.
outside of the video games, for somebody who's not a gamer, what are some of your favorite mental health resources?
My friends, honestly, I gotta say I'm blessed to have friends who are always, willing to listen to me or talk to me about their problems because it doesn't even have to be a matter of me venting to them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just hearing them vent to me or us just shooting the shit about whatever, it
Mm-hmm.
just helps to alleviate whatever pressures I may have been dealing with for that day. Um,
Love that.
Friends, mentors, I got several OGs who I think look out for me or just, you know, have meaningful connections with me and
Mm-hmm.
they help me to navigate my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, shout out to everybody. I'm pretty sure they know who they are. My girlfriend at that point, my mom, ev- it takes a village, right?
Yes,
So all of
yes.
that. I'm not sure if you were looking for like organizations or something like that in particular, but
No, whatever you had, like there's a free app. It's called Insight Timer. I like to tell
mhm,
people about it. You can tune in at any point. They have they have billions and billions of free resources. Like if you don't like this person's voice, you can mess with this person. You can mess with that person. You can mess with that
right.
person. You can just keep going.
That's
So
dope.
that different like I didn't know if you had like some specific podcasts that you like to listen to, or if you had like a special book that you go to, or like just anything. But like what you said was powerful in itself, because some people don't realize that the resources that they have right immediately available can be some really powerful resources. Like sometimes it's not outside of yourself, sometimes it's inside of yourself and around
Hmm.
yourself. So that was powerful. That was powerful.
I'm big on the game of basketball too.
Okay.
Anytime I get to play, I I typically would. or just being able to watch or again play the video game.
Mhm.
Just having that camaraderie on the court though is something different. Even
Mhm.
sometimes when I'm going in between tasks at the crib because I
Mhm.
work from home, I
Mhm.
can just pick up a basketball and be like "Oop, oop," real quick through the house.
Hey.
I got
Yeah.
the hardwood floor or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, back to work.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
something to break the monotony.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
beyond that, it's just even my barber, because my barber has been extremely influential. Over the past 2 years or so,
Okay.
because he's got 20 years on me in terms of age, but it's again it's like that OG talk, like just
Mhm.
somebody that you can have these weekly talks with, and someone who wants to pour into you.
Mhm.
You
How old are
just
you,
have to.
Zach?
I'm 26.
You 26. Okay, so he's 46.
Yeah, actually, he might be 45 right now, getting ready to
For
turn 46.
this
It
year.
might be a
Okay.
19-year difference. Yeah,
Okay, cool. 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 Cool.
but I'll
Okay,
be
just to put some
27 in September. Yeah,
okay, okay, some perspective to it. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. 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 That's dope. So, spinning it out, coming together, where can listeners connect with you? You said you work from home. Do you is it called counsel? Do you counsel? Do you take
I prefer the term psychologize,
Oh, excuse
but no, 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 it's all right. But no, yeah, counsel, provide therapy,
Mhm. Mhm.
psychologize. Psychologize is the most informal way of saying it, and that's the way I
Okay.
prefer to do it. Just
Okay.
because I guess in professionalism, I feel like there's deep rooted whiteness.
Mhm.
So any chance that I get to be improper about something, I
Hmm.
prefer that because take me wearing a do rag or something. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
that I'm any less equipped to provide knowledge or insight. So
Hmm.
I like to
Hmm.
I like to go against the grain in that aspect. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so they of course can look me up on Psychology Today. If you type in my name, Zach McClain, I'm pretty sure it'll pop up with a Psychology Today or a LinkedIn profile or something.
Okay.
Um, I got a page on Instagram called Zack the Therapist, so y'all feel free to go get at me there. I
Okay.
also got a TikTok page, Zack the Therapist. They're both the same. So
Okay.
ZACK the therapist.
Okay. 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 Lit T 5000. I'm gonna check out your Instagram and see
But
see what's all on there, because I would love to share resources. That's just what I'm about. That's why this conversation is here today, just to share resources to because seeing a like a lot of people that I've heard talk to me about therapy, they're like, well, I don't want to go talk to a white person. You see what I'm saying? And just the visibility space. So just
you ain't
seeing
got to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to. You hit me up, I
right,
might get you a great rate too, because
right.
I'm a part of a nonprofit. Well, I say I collaborate with a nonprofit here in Birmingham that is currently offering 6 free therapy sessions to people who reach out to them. You just have to be, in the Jefferson County, uh, in Jefferson County,
Oh
and black.
wow.
Gotta be
Oh,
black.
okay. That's one of the top
But yeah,
requirements.
you
Okay.
gotta, you gotta be here, and you gotta be black.
Okay.
After that, we can
Okay.
get you a therapist.
Okay. See, this was the gym right here. That right there. Do you know how many people just don't have the resources to do with the insurance, that stuff like that there? So
Hmm.
that's beautiful. Because the last time that I was able to speak to somebody was back when I was on TRICARE with the military insurance,
Yeah.
and then you age out of that, and then it's your own insurance then. So
Yeah, no, sir. My mama hit me up. When was that? This was 2019. I had just graduated too. I had just got a new job. I was like, "Hey, mama, do I need to get insurance?" She was like, "Nah, I plan on working for a few more years." That nigga hit me up on a Monday and said, "Hey, Wednesday gonna be my last day. You better go ahead and go do what you gotta do." And I like, you talking about next Wednesday? Nah, Wednesday, mama. That's 2 days from now. I told you. I said, God damn. Yeah, you said it's about 2 years. I got God damn. All right. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, One final thought you'd like to leave the listeners with before
I
you. pop out of here?
I feel like we ain't getting into enough yoga stuff today. Like I thought we was gonna talk about more movement and more motion type stuff. I
Have you
want.
ever did yoga?
I've tried it. I know it's like this girl on or this lady, pardon me, this lady on YouTube named like Adrian or something like that.
I knew you was gonna say that. Yoga with Adrian.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I picked it up a couple times to just be like, let me go ahead and get a little bit more limbo out
Ah,
here. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Straight out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up a couple times, but it just didn't stick as well for me. I think I'm
Uh-huh.
more of a strength training type of guy, but I probably do need the yoga aspect of it. So I'm
Yes,
pretty sure I end up
yes.
checking out the studio whenever it is open.
Okay.
But
Okay.
um, but I want black people to get into a habit of moving their body in more ways that makes them feel good, not just to
Mm-hmm.
go making money, not just because you have to
Mm-hmm.
do things that generally make you feel good. Like
Mm-hmm.
be intentional about trying to make those things happen, whether it be going to play basketball, going to walk around the park,
Mm-hmm.
going to ride a bike. Like
Mm-hmm.
find ways to break the monotony of work and sleep
Mm-hmm.
and go do things that really help you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that in turn will help your mental health.
Mm-hmm. Movement, right? And
Mhm.
so I know that a lot of people equate yoga to the physical, but this is yoga right here. Like this is union, right? So there's
Mhm.
aspects, there's 8 limbs, right? So there's yamas, niyamas, pranayama, pratyahara, asana, meditation, samadhi. So what we're doing right here
You had to
is
write all
yoga.
that down. You said
What
the eight
what
body parts. One, two, three, four. The feet count separately. I'm for real.
I'm sick of you. No,
I'm for
no.
real, bro. Like I'm not even bullshitting. Like you said, it's eight. I'm trying to see where they at.
So when they call it the limbs, they're calling it like the pillars. Like so think 8 pillars, right? The 8 pillars, but we
Oh,
call them the limbs, right?
of yoga. Okay, we ain't talking
Yes.
about a person per se. Okay,
No,
see,
no,
that's why I was
no.
confused. That's why I asked questions. As a
Yes.
therapist, that's what I'm gonna do. Ask questions. I
Get
ain't here to make no
clarity.
decisions. I ain't here to make no decisions for you. I ain't here to give you no answers. I'm here to ask
Hmm.
questions to help you gain guidance. Because after I ask
Hmm.
you certain shit, you might be like, I see what you did though, and I don't like it because it made me think about myself more. Shit, that's what you paid for. At
You
least I
know,
did my job. Shit.
you did. You did. The misconception is that people can just come to a therapist and dump like ah because that's what they see on TV. But like, no, that's not it. Or I don't know
Jonah
how you
Hill.
practice, but
Nah, I'm one of those people like I need you to talk to me and be open. That's a great step, but also be willing to receive the challenges that I give you. Because
mm,
like if you're trying to move past something or get better at something, you
mm,
need challenges.
mm,
Jonah Hill had that movie called Stutz on Netflix, and his
mm,
therapist was like, "What are we doing today? Did you come to dump more shit on me? I'm tired of you dumping your shit on me." And like he meant it in a joking way, of course, but like that in theory is what therapy is. You gotta dump shit on me so that I can give you fertilizer back.
mm, mm, mm. Come on, come on. So when you say so when you say that you wanted to talk about more yoga, like movement wise, like you want to learn it, or how can we
I
bring
want
you
it
a
to be I want it
uh-huh.
to be one of those conversations like because I'm not a person who's extremely knowledgeable about yoga. Like you dropped some
Uh-huh.
gems since we've been in here,
Uh-huh.
but if I can redirect traffic to you, I
Yes,
want you
please.
to take this
Come on.
time.
Come on.
I want you to take this time to really tell people, hey, this is what we do. This is what we about.
Hmm.
Rock with me because yoga like tends it has a tendency to do this, this, and
Mm-hmm.
that. If you've been dealing
Hmm.
with X, Y, and Z, come fuck with me.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Boom. Yes, yes, get me together. I love that. This is such a twist. I've never had anyone just tell me what we gonna do, but I love this. So,
Real quick.
yes. So the reason why you should come here with the Black Yogi Tribe, Breathing Living Knowledge, is because of um the level of awareness, right? As someone who practices yoga, I practice it from a space of, what word am I looking for? I practice it from a,
Necessity.
yeah, I need it. I need yoga. Absolutely. I need stillness. I have to be still. I have to be still and I have to move. There's a time and place for everything. But
Hmm.
if I'm not in my practice, then I'm not here. I'm checked out. So the reason why you need to practice yoga is to check in, is to be a participant and not just a witness. Before yoga, I was numb. I didn't even feel anything, you know? After
Hmm.
yoga, I'm able to feel, I'm able to sense, I'm able to have sensations, I'm able to um yeah, just have a level of awareness and connection that just really wasn't there before yoga. And a lot of the movement that we practice, the reason why we practice it is because everybody's experienced trauma no matter who you are. Some of the ways that we express it in our body, we hunch over, we're depressed, we're protecting the
Hmm.
rest of our heart space, right? Yoga allows that opening, right? It allows that opening. Even if you're just doing some chair yoga, some simple rolls from the desk, you know what I'm saying?
X.
That will open up some simple, yes and some no's, some ups and some downs, just some simple, little movements like this to really open up. um and yeah, yoga is life. It is a way of life. It is a science. It's not a religion. You can be any religion and practice yoga. You can be anyone and practice yoga. It's not an elitist thing. It's not a
Hmm.
classist thing. And the reason
It's
why
a thing.
it's a thing. Yay.
Thing.
Yay. Um, yeah, and the reason why you should come over here is because I care. I actually care. Like I actually genuinely, like, the reason why I am who I am and the reason why people know about me is because I went to East Lake Park and gave yoga
On the east side, huh?
every Sunday for free. For
That's beautiful.
free. You see what I'm saying? And from that, it grew. It took off. Like then everybody was like, "Oh, I want to mess with this." So I'm like, "Okay, come."
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I like to tell people that it's not all about the movement. Like I was explaining the pillars, right? So yama and niyama is, there's five of those of each. So there's 10. But the yamas, way you express yourself, the way that you feel about your inside, niyamas, the way you express and feel about the world,
Hmm.
asana, which is the actual movement, which is asana means seat. So it's really preparing yourself to sit for meditation. Then we've got pranayama, which is the breath work, right? The in and out, the chi, the breath work. Then we've got pratyahara, which is sensory withdrawal. So you have to withdraw your senses. Sometimes you can be in a space where it's loud noise, but you got to be able to go
You,
inside,
you
right?
just need silence. Yeah.
Then we got dhyana and dharana, which is the meditation and the concentration. And then finally we reach samadhi, which is bliss. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Hmm.
there's levels. It's not all about just like being in a handstand and all that. No, you know.
It's
Yeah.
about significantly more than that. That's even clearing up some misconceptions for me because even for
Mm,
me, I was talking about moving your
mm-hmm.
body in ways that make you happy. It's also about being still in ways that
Mm-hmm.
make you happy. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that's the side I'm more so geared towards. I can sit right there on that couch and play that game for hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yoga teaches you how to mobilize without fear,
That's
you
beautiful.
know? So I'm glad you, thank you for pulling that. That was dope. That was dope. And one of my best friends is a Virgo. So like that energy is appreciated this way. I
I
love,
appreciate it.
you're not into this, but I am. Like I've done some deep studies in my life, okay? I got a couple years on you. I'm 31. Black don't cry. But so
Yeah, I thought you might be younger than me. I ain't gonna count. I got some gray hairs in my beard, but you know what I'm saying. You can't see them, and it's like,
in there like swimwear. Oh my gosh. I'm
yeah.
so grateful. So very grateful for you being here today. I really appreciate you. And yeah, this was like one of the best podcasts that I've ever had
Oh,
ever.
thank you.
So very
You know,
grateful. Thank you so much,
all right.
Zach.
I appreciate it. I'm about to get back to my lady because she called me.